Full-size SUVs are big cars that can be good for families and people who like adventures. In this video, we'll be looking at two of the most popular ones in 2023, the Toyota Sequoia Capstone and the GMC Yukon Denali. These aren't just vehicles, they're symbols of luxury. We'll dive deep into their engine, exteriors, technology, and safety features to help you decide which one deserves a spot in your garage. Overview. The Yukon has a fancy inside, different engine choices, and high-tech stuff, which is great if you want a top-notch SUV. On the other hand, the Sequoia is more like a classic SUV. It works well, and it's cheaper. In 2023, Toyota made significant improvements to the Sequoia. They gave it a more stylish look on the outside and made the inside more comfortable. They also added the latest connectivity options, and the engine now uses less fuel while still being powerful. Compared to the old model, the new Sequoia is much better in every way. This update has put the Sequoia in competition with other top full-size SUVs, especially the GMC Yukon, which is known for being capable, practical, and luxurious. Engine. The 2023 Yukon is different from the Sequoia because it doesn't have a hybrid engine. Instead, it has three types of engines. The Yukon comes with a 3.5-liter V8 that produces 355 horsepower and 383 pounds of torque, which serves as the base engine. It comes with a fuel economy of 15 miles per gallon in the city and 20 mpg on the highway. The second option is the 3.0-liter turbo diesel V6 that produces 277 horsepower and 490 pounds of torque. It's more fuel efficient than the first one, getting 20 miles mpg in the city and 27 mpg in the highway. The third engine comes with a 6.2-liter V8 that produces 420 horsepower and 460 pounds of torque. The engine is powerful but less efficient, with a fuel economy of 14 mpg in the city and 20 mpg on the highway. All these engines come with a 10-speed transmission, a 24-gallon fuel tank, and you can choose between two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive depending on the trim you pick. The Yukon also has a special off-road version called the AT4. It comes with a four-wheel drive, special tires for rough terrain, protective plates, and adjustable suspension for better ground clearance, and some extra safety features. With these different engine choices, you can pick the one that best suits your performance needs. The 2023 Toyota Sequoia represents the first complete redesign of Toyota's full-size SUV since George W. Bush was president. It should therefore not be surprising that it's greatly improved in the areas of engine efficiency. Instead of the old gas-guzzling V8 engine, they put a more efficient V6 engine. This engine is part of Toyota's iForce Max hybrid system, and by itself, it's rated at 389 horsepower and 479 pounds of torque. When you add the electric motor, the whole system can produce 437 horsepower and 583 pounds of torque. They paired this engine with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Most versions of this SUV come with two-wheel drive, and you can choose to get a four-wheel drive if you want. The only exception is the TRD Pro model, which comes with four-wheel drive as standard. This version is made for off-road adventures and has special features like tough shock absorbers, protective plates, a rear locking differential, and tools to help you when you're off the beaten path. It can also hold 22.5 gallons of gas, which is less than the Yukon's 24-gallon fuel tank. It shifts gears smoothly with its 10-speed transmission, but it has fewer engine choices than the Yukon. Both SUVs can pull heavy loads, but the Sequoia can tow up to 9,000 pounds, while the Yukon can only tow up to 8,400 pounds. Regarding speed, the Sequoia beats the Yukon. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 5.5 seconds, whereas it takes the Yukon about 6. Of course, these are both impressive numbers for such large SUVs. Now let's talk interior, but before we go on, drop a like on the video and of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on new uploads. Interior and technology. The Yukon has a refined interior while the Sequoia has a practical interior. The Yukon is a fancy car that makes you feel really nice. It has good stuff inside like soft leather seats, a dashboard with wood on it, and room for 8 people or 7 if you have special chairs. The Denali and the new Denali Ultimate versions are even fancier with lots of cool features. You can also put things in the back, and there's a big screen, a big display, and places to charge your phone without plugging it in. The Yukon comes with a 10.2-inch touchscreen, a 12-inch digital cluster, wireless charging, Google Maps, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a Wi-Fi hotspot. If you want, you can add even more cool stuff like a special display, a great music system, and cameras all around the car. The Yukon is also good for carrying stuff because it has 25 cubic feet of space with all seats up. If you get the Yukon XL, it has even more space, 41 cubic feet. The Sequoia, on the other hand, is a practical SUV that's good for everyday use. Depending on the version you pick, you can have seats made of cloth or leather, and the inside can be decorated with wood or chrome. You can also choose between regular seats and the seats that stay warm and cool. The Sequoia can fit 8 people or 7 if you have special chairs, and everyone has plenty of room for the legs. However, when it comes to carrying stuff in the back, the Sequoia doesn't have as much space as the Yukon. The batteries for the hybrid system take up space under the third row, so there's not much room for luggage when all the seats are up. Only about 12 cubic feet. If you fold down the back seats, you get 22.3 cubic feet, which is a lot less than the Yukon. The third row of seats in the Sequoia are quite small, and it's tough for full-grown adults to sit comfortably. In terms of technology, the Sequoia has either an 8-inch or 14-inch screen that can connect your iPhone or Android phone. It also has a built-in GPS and can show your phone's screen on the display. Overall, the Sequoia's interior isn't as fancy as the Yukon. The Yukon speaks more luxury, while the Sequoia's interior looks just standard. Exterior and price. When it comes to their exteriors, the Yukon has a muscular, elegant exterior, while the Sequoia has an athletic, modern exterior. Looking at the Yukon, it looks tough and impressive on the road. It has a special front grille, strong lines, shiny chrome parts, and bright LED lights, which all make it seem really big and fancy. On the other hand, the Sequoia has a more practical design, but it's still big and strong looking. It has some new features that make it look modern, so the Yukon's more contemporary styling may appeal to buyers seeking a more refined aesthetic, while the Sequoia is more modern and practical in its design for people who prefer that. But overall, the Sequoia looks better than the Yukon. It's not easy for big SUVs to be pretty, but some manage it, like the Sequoia, which has always had a well-received exterior. Compared to the Yukon and other big SUVs, the Sequoia has more personality in how it looks. To compare, the GMC Yukon mostly looks like a big truck. Its big tires practically make it look tough, but overall, it's just a truck without a bed. The Sequoia, on the other hand, is a stylish SUV that mixes a tough look with the usual smart Toyota style. The Yukon Denali costs around $75,000, and the Sequoia Capstone is priced at about $80,000. Certainly, the Sequoia costs a little more than the GMC Yukon, but the difference in price is small, and the Yukon is a better choice overall. They're both good, but the GMC Yukon appears to be less of a family SUV and more suited for tasks like towing and practical use. The Yukon is not an SUV that'll sit pretty in your garage. It's really big and made for hard tasks, while Toyota made a big SUV with the Sequoia that still carries a family-like vibe. Even with this, the Yukon is fancier inside, has better technology, and drives smoother than the Sequoia. Safety. When it comes to safety, both the Yukon and Sequoia are safe SUVs. They both have automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, and parking sensors. But if you get fancier versions of these cars, they have even more safety features. If you found this video helpful and enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our videos. We'd love to hear your thoughts on which SUV you think deserves a crown of luxury in the comments below. Are you Team Sequoia Capstone or Team Yukon Denali?